Captain Insano shows no mercy.
Hold on to your butts.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Basic Monsters podcast. Got a Monday night twosome. We got Bills and Chiefs, and then we got Cowboys and Cardinals for the Monday night games. And we just keep getting blessings with this football. With more and more football. You got Tuesday night. We covered the Bills and the Titans, and that was a massacre. We'll get to that in a second. And then you had a great game last week with the Chiefs and the Raiders. A barn burner, a big loss for the Chiefs, a big win for the Raiders. So you got two teams coming in tonight, and the Bills and the Chiefs that are, they're looking for a win. Both teams need a win. Both teams need a win to get right again. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to the late game too. But real quick, let's go ahead and recap our games from yesterday. Bears go ahead and they beat the Carolina Panthers. Made it a lot closer than I like for it to be. You know what I'm saying? But, they ended up with a win. Win is a win is a win. So I'm going to take it 5-1, but it should be a lot cleaner. Like that shit Matt Nagy pulled at the end with not running the ball and being aggressive. I understand being aggressive when, you have maybe a 14 to 20 point lead. You know what I'm saying? But being aggressive when you're up a touchdown, the team has like the momentum was kind of, flip-flopping back and forth. And it looked like the Panthers had the momentum. You had all the means to shut them down, take a timeout away from them, and then win this game walking away. But you as a head coach made it interesting by going ahead and throwing the ball and stopping the clock. That doesn't do your defense any help.
Yeah, it's just bad coaching. I mean, straight up. That's all it is. I mean, it was just a boneheaded call. Like I don't understand why do you even. I mean, you could have closed the door and you left it cracked open for someone else to sneak in there. Like I would have loved it if Carolina would have came back and beat them just because of that. Because then at that point, Matt Nagy has no one else to point the finger at, and he doesn't like to take blame. But yeah, they squeaked it out.
They squeaked it out, and you're right. He doesn't like to take blame, but he also makes it the excuse about being aggressive and being himself and all that stuff. And I get that, and that's probably motivating for the locker room. But coach. You have the lead. They have minute 45, about like 2 minutes, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Why aren't you doing everything to keep that clock moving? Why aren't you doing everything to keep that clock moving? Teddy at an accelerated pace with no timeouts. I'll take my chances against that instead of a Teddy Bridgewater with timeouts that could go ahead and use the entire field. You know what I'm saying? Like it didn't make sense to me. You put your team in a bad spot.
Yeah, I mean that's Nagy ball, bud.
That's Nagy ball. That Nagy ball.
That's that Nagy ball.
It's infectious. Like it's not good. It's not good. Sometimes he surprises me, and I'm like, man, it's a good job. Like the way he stuck with the run.
Yeah. The
way he stuck with the run, it was bottled up, and then obviously it was really one big maybe 12-yard run. I think we saw that Montgomery had, but like that was pretty much. That's all you needed towards the end of the game was all of a sudden that defensive line for the Panthers, started to weather and the Bears broke through. Now,
go ahead. Go ahead.
Now, as far as a run game is concerned, I just feel like you got to get a tackle. There's been rumors flying around about them getting a guard, but you need a tackle, you need a guard. You need something to get this offense, up and running, and not the offense, but at least the running game up and running, because you're running into a couple teams coming up. Actually, man, I want to say 3 teams in 4 weeks. Well, 3 teams in 5 weeks if you count the bye week. But you're going to run into the Rams with Aaron Donald. You're going to run into the Saints defense, who's nothing to nothing to. Sniff your nose at, but like you have to be able to run this football. Look at what happens when Foles is under pressure. Like every damn time he gets a snap, you get a guy coming free from the left side, you get a guy coming free from the right side. So it's been a pain in the ass. They need to figure it out. and I hopefully they do go after a guard or some type of offensive lineman.
Yeah, there's people out there. I mean, it can't be much worse than what it is right now. There maybe even start looking at somebody on the practice squad. I mean, at this point, like Leno is just. I mean, he might as well just lay down at the line of scrimmage and just let somebody step over him because that's about as much resistance as he gives. He's out of position constantly. He's going backwards all the time. He's whiffing. You know what I mean? Like at this point,
just completely missing blocks.
Yeah, just throw somebody from the practice squad in there, and I'll guarantee you'll be better. At least he'll hit 2 out of 4.
Well, shit, like that. The play I'm talking about, the interception that Nick Foles had. Where do you think the pressure came from? Charles Leno's side. Charles Leno was a straight up liability, and if you think you could win with him, I mean, maybe we're wrong. Maybe he's just out of shape or what have you. But I've seen it way too much from Charles Leno Jr. to think that something's going to be, there's going to be anything different, come Sunday to Sunday.
Yeah, and we're far enough along in the season now where if there was any rust or anything like that should have been worked out. So that's not even an excuse. So, yeah, you got to do something. I mean, look, once you hit up the Jets, I know they're getting rid of people for draft picks. So, I mean, it might not be a bad idea.
I'll cherry pick off the Jets. Go cherry pick everybody you can for any good, decent player because it's got to be the coaching in the front office. Like, not every player on that team is bad.
No.
You know what I'm saying? It's the coaching in the front office. And, yeah, go ahead, poach some players.
Mm-hmm. That's what we did.
If they're going to get rid of them anyway to try to tank for Trevor Lawrence, hey, right here, what do you want?
I mean, that's what we did. We went and got a defensive tackle from them. So
I know, I just thought it.
They're willing to deal.
Yeah, I saw that. That was a good pickup because you lost Vita Vea.
Mm-hmm.
And that speaking about that defense, it's a good segue. They put an ass whooping to the Green Bay Packers, dude. I never seen Aaron Rodgers so confused.
Yeah, I'll tell you another thing. Everybody was giving Tom Brady a little bit of guff just because he was holding up the 4 fingers. Or right. he was just basically telling you the future that he was going to beat Rodgers by 4 touchdowns. That's how that worked. So I don't want anybody to think that he's like Joe Biden, not doesn't have all of his marbles, but I think it was he was just a little bit ahead.
I just think I feel like Tom made a mistake. Like it is what it is. But there was this whole narrative going around about him, Aaron Rodgers being the GOAT, like he's the real GOAT, or he's better than Tom, and maybe physically, yeah. What he could do on the football field, probably, but like if Tom has his guys and Tom has a team that's behind him, which pretty much what team isn't behind Tom Brady,
right?
They're gonna he's gonna be able to beat you, and he proved it yesterday. He had the defense kicked their ass. It was really the defense that whooped their ass, but Tom, he put the ball where it needed to be.
Mm-hmm. And he didn't even have to do it that much. I think he only threw for 166 yards, but the run game is picked up, which is phenomenal, which is something Tampa hasn't seen for a long time, probably since the all-stop Warwick Dunn days. Right. Maybe there was a couple sprinkled in here or there, but they weren't good consistently. Ronald Jones is consistently putting up over 100 yards, which is taking pressure off of everybody. And especially now they need it because you got guys that are hurt. So them not running as much, trying to re-aggravate an injury or something like that. It's keeping them, let them block. Don't work them as hard. Tom doesn't have to do everything. As far as that GOAT talk goes, I have no qualms about saying that Aaron Rodgers probably could be. But like I said, he's just in an organization that refuses to give him any help at the wide receiver position. And I think what he's done without any of that help is not to be overlooked. I mean, the guy's still killing it. I mean, they're still, not far out of the playoffs or getting into the playoffs and getting bounced. But, I mean, like I said, if you had Aaron Rodgers on New England, as long as Brady was on New England, I guarantee you Aaron Rodgers will probably have 4 or 5 Super Bowl rings.
Right. Well, let me tell you about this Packers defense.
Sure.
Although Tampa Bay, pick 6, and then they got another interception, took it down. So damn near had another one, took it down to the 3, the 4, or something like that. That's 14 points that they scored off of turnovers. Now think about that. Where did the other points come from? Where did the other 28 come from?
Yeah, they came from Brady and Ronald Jones.
Brady and Ronald Jones. That Packers defense is suspect.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, they can't. Yeah, they're not good against the run. The one thing that I forget the guy's name. He plays on the left side of the defense. He's the guy that's basically been their sack star.
Darius Smith.
There it is. Yeah. He was nowhere to be found. They were stymieing him like it wasn't nothing. And then vice versa on the other side of the ball, Tampa Bay's defense was clicking. They were flying around. They were everywhere. They were in passing lanes. They were hitting people. They were making tackles. They were on Rodgers. I don't know how many times Rodgers hit the deck that game, but it was way too many. If I'm anybody in the Packers organization, I'm like, whoa, what's going on here? Like, we can't have that.
And then they lost Bakhtiari.
Yeah, that's going to be.
They got a little worse on that offensive line now.
Mm-hmm.
So now,
that's tough.
Yeah, there was a lot of trouble. Let's go ahead and get to this game tonight. The first game of the night, Chiefs and Bills. Last week we got to you guys on a Tuesday where the Chiefs faced the Tennessee Titans and got mollywopped.
No, they played the Raiders.
No. I'm sorry, the Bills. I'm sorry, Tuesday the Bills played
right.
The Bills played the Titans. I'm sorry, thank you. The Bills played the Titans and got mollywopped. Still same.
Yeah, outcome. Different team, same outcome.
Team, same outcome. They got mollywopped. And it didn't look good for them. We thought Josh Allen was going to come out and ball. None of that happened. Happened. Tennessee shut him down on defense. We saw Ryan Tannehill just become all world that night because
and he hasn't stopped since.
Yeah. Was he at eight in the last?
He's had like 10 touchdowns in like the past 2 or 3 games.
The past 2 games, from Tuesday to Sunday, he's had 8 touchdowns.
Yeah, and only 2 picks.
And only 2 picks.
I mean, you could do without that, but over the season, it's only 3 or 4 picks over the whole season. I think he's got like 13, 14 touchdowns and like 3 picks. I'll take that.
Well, hell, of course, I'll take that. I'll take that too. No, it was crazy to see the Bills just kind of not have an answer for Tennessee. A lot of teams typically don't have an answer for Henry. But they didn't have an answer. They didn't have an answer for Tannehill. And I know, oh my God, who's their cornerback? I'm gonna hate myself for not remembering his name. The Bills.
Josh Allen?
No, the corner.
Oh, White.
Tre'Davious White. They didn't have Tre'Davious White last week, so that hurt. You know what I'm saying? Like that hurt. They were able to stretch the field a little bit more. I'm looking for a big bounce back from the Bills. Like I don't know if their defense is going to be able to hold up, but I think that offense might be able to put up enough points against the Chiefs to keep it close.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know about that. Just because, I mean, I know the Chiefs' defense isn't the greatest, but I can tell you this, man. Once you blanket Stefan Diggs and Dawson Knox is out today, they have absolutely hardly any run game whatsoever. So if you just make Buffalo one-dimensional and take away their best receiver, I don't know that they have the guys to pull it through, especially when you're going up against another offense that can put points up at will.
Right, and it'll be tough. It'll be tough to see. I mean, like I know that Chiefs defensive line is probably their best asset, I would say, but they're going to struggle if they could find a way to run the ball. If they could find some type of way to get some yards in the run game, they're in good shape. We saw a team that struggled with Oakland. Oakland played Kansas City last week. They struggled with their run, but eventually they were able to go over the top.
Right.
So if they could stick with it, the main thing is that they protect Josh Allen, because that's not what they did last week against Tennessee. They were able to put him on the ground multiple times. They need to be able to protect Josh Allen and let him work. He's the guy that's going like in the MVP talks with Russell. He's number 2. If Russ is right here, here's Josh Allen. Right
and shortly behind him is got to be Ryan Tannehill at this point.
It's got to be Ryan Tannehill shortly behind him. So. You got a guy in Josh Allen that if you could protect him, and he's a big boy, he could protect himself. But if you could protect him this game and let him throw the ball instead of having to create out with his legs and get his body a little beat up, I think you're going to find success, just like the Oakland Raiders did for Derek Carr.
Yeah. The only difference is Buffalo doesn't have a brand or a Jacobs. They have Singletary, and I don't even know if Moss is coming back or not. And then they've got Yeldon, which is a throwback. I forgot the guy even still played in the league. But yeah, they're
That's crazy.
yeah, man, I don't know.
They were talking about
In order for Buffalo to get going, they're going to have to, my boy Dawson Knox, he's out. So it's going to have to be Croft, the other tight end. But he has to find. I mean, let him come out of the backfield, let him catch passes. Whatever. He's obviously too small to pound it up the middle. Let Yeldon do the heavy work. Stretch him out. Make those not so agile linebackers that Kansas City has. Make them cover him. Use him, because if John Brown's not playing either, then you need somebody out there to speed to attack those linebackers, because that's exactly what John Brown could do. He could cut inside and make a linebacker cover him. He's going to blow by a linebacker anytime.
We got Stephon Diggs. Don't forget about Stephon Diggs.
Well, yeah, I know. I'm just saying, like, it's
I get what you're saying out of the slot.
Right. Yeah, I mean, use him. I mean, use him in other places, because he's obviously he's too small to pound it in the hole. It's just not. It's not his place. He needs to be outside. Right. Yeah. Sorry, no pun intended there, but
don't worry.
Yeah, but he needs to be catching balls out of the backfield, and putting pressure on those linebackers, because those linebackers for Kansas City are not the most agile people. And then on top of that, then you can burn him on the other side. John Brown could burn him if he goes straight. Diggs could burn him. You line both of those guys up on the same side of the field and bust one into a post and let the other one streak down the line. I mean, they may have a lot of success with that. And the Raiders provided the blueprint for that. Like, they didn't know what to do with Ruggs.
No, they had nothing. They had no answer for the speed, and that's something that you haven't seen Kansas City really have trouble with. Is speed, and all of a sudden they're having trouble with it. But Henry Ruggs runs. I mean, the man's a cheetah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm sure he's half animal, something like some type of speed animal.
Right.
Like, he's just so fast, and I don't. I can see why Oakland came up with a victory. They were able to get over the top. It's one thing to slow down that Kansas City offense, which is, it's
hard to do.
It's hard to do, but it's a whole nother ball game if you could keep up with them.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what the Raiders did. The Raiders were able to keep up with the Chiefs.
Well,
I'm not saying the Bills can, but if they could find some type of rhythm like the Raiders had, like that, run the ball, hit them over the top, keep taking your chances, downfield, I think they might find themselves in a tight one.
Right. I mean, Kansas City is that team where their greatest asset is their greatest kryptonite. So
right.
Their offense is so fast, but their defense can't hang with the speed. So they live by it, and they also die by it. So, right. I mean, that's if you could get that speed out there, and you could get those guys streaking down the field and, pull a safety out of position, or, have a corner. I mean, it's not even worth taking a shot just to see if you can get the flag sometimes. But, yeah, I mean, their defense is not the fastest defense in the world. But, like I said, if their offense could go out there and put up 40, 50 points, defense doesn't really have to be that great. It just has to slow you down a little bit.
It just has to slow them down. That's what the Raiders did. They just slowed Kansas City down enough that their offense was able to, keep pace. Because it's usually the Chiefs are usually running right out the gate. The Chiefs are like, all right, hey, guess what? Look, we're up 14.
Yeah.
So if you're able to, stymie that a little bit, but put up 14 on your own, now you're on an even playing field. Like, it's going to be interesting to see if the Chiefs, now that they and we're not going to see Le'Veon Bell tonight.
No.
But it's going to be interesting to see how that offense takes off now that they do have Le'Veon.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know how your defense is going to stop teams from scoring points like the Raiders did.
Yeah. No, it's another interesting thing about it tonight. I mean, I don't know. We'll see how far it goes, but I know that Josh Allen and Mahomes have been going back and forth as to who could throw the ball farther. So we may get to see that tonight too.
I want to see that one. I could see first play of the game for both teams.
Yeah.
Just streak. Nine routes for both teams.
All right.
First play of the game. Somebody run and get open. We're just gonna throw the ball as far as we can. See who gets. See who comes down with it.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know who would I would say my money would be on Mahomes, but you got to see Josh Allen. I've seen Josh Allen too.
I'd probably put my money on Josh Allen just because he's a bigger body. I feel like he generates more power, and I don't know.
More torque in it.
Yeah, I mean, I know at his pro day he was throwing like 85-yard bombs, and not struggling with it. So it's ugh, man.
We'll see. I hope that'd be fun. That'd be fun to see 2 9 routes to start both offensive drives.
Yeah.
See stronger arm.
Yeah.
pissing contest, if you will.
Yeah. I mean, it's like I said, I want to say it's going to be a good game, but I said that about the game last week, and I have no idea what happened. But the thing that I think happened is that people don't realize how physical and big of a team Tennessee is, and that like it's kind of like their hidden talent. Like everyone's like, oh, it's Henry, oh, it's Tannehill, oh, it's Jonnu Smith, oh, it's AJ. Everybody on that team, that offensive line, that defensive line, like all those guys are so big. And I mean, look at their receiver, AJ Brown. That guy's a monster. It's just like they're just a physical, big team. And I think a lot of people don't take that into consideration when they talk about Tennessee.
Tennessee Titans are Titan size. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. It's kind of fitting.
Their offensive line is big. They're huge. Like, yeah, Henry's a monster, but there's a reason why Henry's getting 10 yards a carry, a pop on some carries. There's a reason why he's 6 yards downfield before somebody puts a hand on him.
Or before he puts a hand on him.
Before he gets his hands on you. He's already 6 yards downfield.
Right.
So it's gonna be fun to see how the Bills try to, or not the Bills, but it's gonna be fun to see how the Titans keep that up. Like if they're able to keep up that pace, man, the Titans are gonna be super scary, dude. Super scary.
Yeah, like I said, they may very well see Kansas City in the playoffs again.
Yeah. All right, guys, we're gonna get out of here. Luke, I know you got to finish up some work.
Yeah.
I know you're gonna be peeking at the game, but we're gonna get you guys at the halftime and at the post game. Remember, we got 2 games on tonight, so in the post game we'll get you the pregame of the Cardinals and the Cowboys coming up. It's the Red Rocket. It's the Red Rockets' turn. Andy Dalton's turn to lead the Dallas Cowboys. They're hoping to a victory. I'm pulling for the Cardinals and then Kyler Murray and D-Hop. But all right, guys, that's it for us. I'm down the Basement Monsters podcast on Sports Zone Chicago. We'll see you guys at the half.
I just heard my favorite band is in town. I'd love to get good seats, but everywhere I've looked, the ticket sites have crazy service fees.
Haven't you heard of TixSplits?
Who?
TixSplits. They don't gouge you with crazy fees. The price they advertise is the price you pay, plus a small delivery fee.
Never pay service fees again. Go to TIXBLITZ.com today. TixSplits.com. Guaranteed seats, low prices. That's TixSplits.com. Every ticket, every venue, everywhere.